Wow. Do you believe it? Do you believe it? Honestly, do you believe it? Another day, another gap fill. Today, I'm going to show you once again how this strategy, the gap fill, plays into our favor. We get the move up, we get the profit, we lock it all down. I'm going to talk about what went down again today with the gap fill and the idea of how you can capitalize and make some serious profits, even with a small account, day trading the gap fill. Let's go. What's going on, guys? Patrick here. Today, another gap fill. Who would have thought? I know, it's magical. Like, wow, how could this possibly have happened? Patrick, how did you know? Well, pulling up the charts right now, the market kind of goes chopping around here. But as you see this morning at open, look at this setup on the NASDAQ. That first 1 minute candle from the 35s up there to the 45s, all the way up there to the 516s, pretty much within the first 15 minutes, right? This massive move. And you can see here, pulling up the QQQ, like we talked about yesterday, the idea of identifying the gap fill, the idea of playing into this move, right? So check this out. We bounced right off the pivot. That's what I love about this as well. We had that pivot right there, which really kind of gave me like some confidence. We are holding that pivot pre-market. What you want to do is like, okay, the market's opening. I want to look at the pre-market action. Like, okay, what's been going on pre-market? What's happening pre-market? What is going on? Yes, we are below the VWAP. I will admit we're below the VWAP there, but look what's happening. We just keep bouncing, pretty much off of that pivot point right there, right? So that pivot point, as long as we're above that pivot point, I would be bullish to think that we're going to push up, fill that gap. The gap we closed yesterday, we identified it, we know where that gap's at. All right, let's go. We get rid of the extended trading hours. You can see that first 1 minute candle squeezing right back up there. Literally 3 minute candle right back up there, squeeze, bang, 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 and then that move up to that next pivot. So just giving you guys an idea here for the QQQ. Again, if you're trading NASDAQ futures, you're trading the SPY with the ES futures, there was a gap on the SPY, there was a gap on the QQQ here. You can see the SPY as well. We identified that gap fill here. We actually like kind of didn't get all the way up there perfectly, but still momentum to the upside, getting that push up. The NASDAQ going straight to the moon. The pivot points there, 327 on the QQQ, and then bang, up there at 327. You can see on the NASDAQ here from the lows up to the highs. So that gap fill playing out beautifully. Like I said, pre-market, we were holding there at the pivot points. We knew basically like, hey, if we can hold the pivot points there and we have this gap, well, there's an idea that we're going to go higher. Somebody asked me earlier, they were like, well, you know, Patrick, we talked about on the book map at open, we had a lot of liquidity to the downside. Like a lot of liquidity to the downside here at open. I don't know if I can show it, but yeah, like right here, we had a lot of liquidity to the downside on the book map, that 13,425. And I said like, hey, you know, we know that's a magnet to the price action. So the way that I would think about this is, okay, I see there's all that liquidity there, right? I see there's all that liquidity. We know it's a magnet. We know that a lot of times the market likes to go down to that area, touch that liquidity, and then, you know, see what happens from there. The problem is we obviously don't know for sure if we're going to fill that liquidity. Are we going to go lower? Are we going to go higher? But we do know one thing. We know, number one, that there is that pivot point, right? There's that pivot point pretty much right here. We know that there's that gap fill. And you see here on the book map, who the fuck's texting me now? I'm making a video. But we see there's kind of a double bottom, bang, 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 double bottom right there. Beautiful move. And look at this thing. Up to the highs. So we held that liquidity there. So it's almost like if we don't go to that liquidity, it's like bullish. It's like more bullish, right? Like I'm thinking more bullish, like, wow, like we had all that liquidity down there and we didn't go down there. We held that pivot. We held these things. We're holding this level. Okay. Like it's almost like it's more bullish, right? Because we didn't get down there. Where if we were weak, if the market was weak, if it was bearish, we would think like, okay, the market's going to kind of maybe roll off and take out that liquidity to the downside. But since we were bullish since we had that gap fill potential. Well, there's that move we're looking for. A beautiful move here from the 13,420 up there. Almost, what, 100 points in 15 minutes. 100 points in 15 minutes. And again, right here, you had the Patrick Wieland kind of breakout there on the 1 minute chart. You know, you look at the 3 minute chart, same thing here on the 3 minute chart today. Beautiful setup there. You got the little kind of ding, 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 the break to the highs and that push up. We had the buy signal as well with the Lux Algo buy signal. We got the breakout buy signal. Here's your consolidation. If you got long from here, from the 70s up there to the 14s, I mean, that's 14. I mean, that's 30 points to the 500. I would say 500 being your target would be a good spot. Like, literally, who the fuck is texting me right now? Seriously, stop texting me. But basically, looking for that push up, right? Like 500 being a target, get the breakout. I don't know how to make this any more simpler, I guess. You can see here trading again today in my small account. I talked about it on the live stream. I want you guys to see this is a live account. It's real money, but I basically had $2,000 in this account on Monday. My goal was to basically make some videos for YouTube to show you guys that you don't need a massive account. You don't need $100,000. You don't need $25,000. If you want to trade futures, you can start trading futures today. You can start trading with Topstep through the combine. You can put $1,000 into account, $2,000 in account. Obviously, there's always risk, right? You can lose everything. Make that very clear. You can lose everything. Day trading is risky. A lot of people fail. 90% of day traders fail. But if you're serious about this, if you're putting in the work, you're putting in the time, you're putting in the effort, well, maybe you can get there. And if you really want to learn more, check out the Market Flow Trader community here. You can see Kevin right here literally posted this, that he spent 5 months, lots of resets. After joining the Market Flow Trader community, he realized how important it was to focus on consistency, then to focus on the money. He said he's thankful for the community because without it, he would definitely not be where he is at this point. So big shout out to Kevin passing the Topstep combine and making it happen there. And yeah, talking about the discipline, talking about being consistent. We've got the market chatter as well. We've got Sage in there talking about what stuff's going on, popping off in the market chatter right now. Everybody's in there kind of talking about ideas after the live stream. You can see some of the ideas here, like some of the videos that we talk about. We have like the candlesticks, indicators, talking about different plans, the strategies, the risk reward, the behaviors, kind of just going through all of these different videos. Like some of these videos right here, we talked about, the gaps love to get filled. This is a video where I talk about exactly, what I'm looking for with these gaps, how to find them on the charts, how to set it up. It's all pretty much, step by step from the basics through the kind of like execution and then into the, the mindset, the process, and all of that stuff. So if you guys want to learn more, there's a link down below to check out the Market Flow Trader community. But right now, the big question is like, if you continuously keep losing, you got to ask yourself, like, what am I doing wrong? What are you doing wrong? If you continuously keep losing, what is it that you're doing wrong? Are you trying to short when we start squeezing up? Are you trying to buy the bottom when we're selling off? Are you not seeing the setups? Remember, like not every gap's going to get filled perfectly. Not every breakout's going to work perfectly. But in general, these patterns, these setups, they're giving us an advantage. They're giving us better odds, better kind of statistics, right? A strategy does not make it bulletproof. A strategy is not guarantee you're going to get rich. A strategy is giving you a statistical advantage. So in knowing that, like, hey, instead of just buying, like I'm entering a trade with a setup that I know that when this setup appears, when we have all these things line up, like the gap fill, like the VWAP bounce, the breakout, whatever it is, all these setups we talk about in the Market Flow Trader community, when these things appear on the chart, it's like, hey, this is the setup I want to take. I know that, when this appears, there's a 70% chance that we get a 5-point move to the upside or to the downside based on the move. So that's the great thing about futures. You can make money both long and short very easily, in, out. So there it is. I'm losing my breath because I'm passionate. I love this. This is what I love to do. I wake up in the morning. I'm excited to do this with you guys. If you haven't already tuned in for the live streams, every morning we're live. 915. I will talk to you guys later on.